And now we're joined in the studio by an ambitious young man who many people are calling the new Nicola Sturgeon, though curiously not the existing Nicola Sturgeon. SNP superstar and future First Minister of Scotland, John Nicolson. You're very welcome.
Thank you. You read that exactly as I wrote it.
Do you want to be First Minister?
No.
There we go. That's never going to happen then. Right, I want to talk about Labour first.
You surprise me.
Liz, it's going to be Jeremy Corbyn or Owen Smith, but not you. Are you okay with that?
Yes, totally.
Jeremy Corbyn launched his bid today, his 5-point plan to tackle inequality, neglect, insecurity, prejudice, discrimination and innumeracy. Do you disagree with any of that? Who could argue with that?
No, look, I mean, both Owen and Jeremy will set their case forward, but look, I think that we face this terrible paradox in the Labour Party at the moment, where there's this enthusiastic movement behind Jeremy, and it appears that his ratings are going up amongst existing members, and yet when you ask the public, you get the exact opposite, and we really are now at decision time for the Labour Party. Sorry?
Even in elections, when you ask the public in elections, Jeremy Corbyn says he wins them.
Look, I think we did badly at the last local council elections, and if you look at the poll ratings and Jeremy's personal ratings with the public, we're doing very badly indeed, and we have to make a decision here. Do we believe our mission is to be a party of government, to put our principles into practice and change people's lives, or do we want to protest on the sidelines? I think Owen has made a powerful case that we must always be for the latter, and that's why he has my full support in this contest.
But in those 5 goals, can you disagree with them as an aim for Labour?
I want to see us tackle inequality and all of those issues that have been set up, but I do not believe that Jeremy has the leadership qualities or the right policies to do that. And I think that, you know, we saw the head of Momentum say in a tweet that winning was just something that the elite wanted to keep power for themselves. No, we want to win so that we can change people's lives, and that is the big decision facing the Labour Party, and Owen is absolutely passionate that we are there to change people's lives and not just protest on the sidelines, and I very much agree.
Michael, what do you think of Owen Smith?
Oh, I know scarcely anything about him. I mean, something that's puzzled me extremely about him is that he seems to have made quite a business of wanting to rerun the referendum or to have it verified by an election, whereas, as I understand it, in his own Wales, the majority of Labour voters voted to leave. In the North East, where there are many Labour voters, in Yorkshire and so on, the majority of Labour voters voted to leave. So I'm puzzled that he should try and make that a stance.
Maybe he's looking for a vote in Scotland.
Well, I don't know what Liz would say, but I don't think Labour have a chance of recovering in Scotland in the near term, by which I mean between now and the next election. I think Labour just have to write off Scotland at the next election.
Liz?
I don't think we would ever write off Scotland.
Well, you might not say it, but is that not the reality?
No, I don't believe that that's the case.
Really?
But I don't believe that that's the case. We need to rebuild in every part of the country to provide an effective opposition to the government.
John, which candidate, candidly, would you prefer to win the Labour leadership election?
I don't have a dog in the fight, of course. I have to say, though, if I was a young Labour voter in England and I wanted a new politics and I joined the Labour Party to support Jeremy Corbyn and just to get involved in politics, I think I would find the behaviour of a lot of the Labour backbenchers utterly frustrating, because as soon as Jeremy Corbyn was elected, I sat and watched it. They treated him with visceral hatred from the word go. And, I mean, Liz is shaking her head, but I watched it. I hear the comments. I sit and I listened to what they say. Even, as you know, at the start of Prime Minister's question time, when each of the leaders comes out, they get a cheer from their own side. He never got a cheer from his own side, even after he was just elected. So I think they've played it very badly, and I think surely there has to be some sort of respect for the duly elected leader of a party who's won such a huge mandate.
There was respect. Many people decided to serve in the shadow cabinet on the front bench and bust a gut to try and make it work.
I didn't see much evidence of that, I have to say.
People were really torn when they decided to resign.
So
you
why
heard
did they
Angela
treat
Eagle
him
and
so
others.
disrespectfully? Why didn't they, a simple thing, why didn't they just cheer him when he walked out to ask the Prime Minister questions?
You will have seen earlier on, you have a short memory, people did support him early on, but I think his failure of leadership was why many people from Angela Eagle
I've got
to
a
Owen
pretty
Smith
good memory,
and
and
many
I
others,
remember
many
how he
others
was treated.
really tried
But
to
can we
work
blow
hard
away
with
this
him.
democracy thing? There's a small group of self-appointed people who join the Labour Party. They are completely unrepresentative of Labour voters. They're completely unrepresentative of the British population. But Jeremy Corbyn pleases to call this a democracy. There are all sorts of people in the United Kingdom today who are fearing that this calamitous choice as Labour leader, I call him calamitous, I think that is a proper expression for someone who does not command 80% of the support of his parliamentary party. There is a fear in the United Kingdom that this calamitous choice could become Prime Minister, and he has been selected by this tiny group of momentum-inspired, self-appointed, unrepresentative people. Now, the same criticism can be made of the Conservative Party in its leadership process, and I entirely accept that. We need to get to a situation where parliamentarians choose the leader and not the self-appointed.
Michael raises a very important point.
If you don't mind, Liz, I
here.
just want to turn our attention, if we could, to the new Prime Minister and her performance at Prime Minister's questions, of course. Was she Margaret Thatcher light? Would that comparison be useful for her?
She didn't even appear to be particularly light on this occasion. I last knew Theresa 15 years ago. I've been amazed at the way she's developed. To perform like that in your first Prime Minister's questions, I think really is commendable. I don't know whether she'll be able to sustain it, but the humour was excellent, it was well deployed, the timing was good.
But did you see echoes of that?
Yes, yes, yes. And of course that was absolutely deliberate. She wanted to have that headline. She must have done the way she leant forward, the way she lowered the voice when she delivered the gag. But I must say she pulled it off extremely well. And, you know, in our little film just now, they had that joke about detecting a sense of humour with the sonar. I mean, that was what made it so amazing. Nothing in her previous 6 years had made us believe that she was capable of that sort of performance.
Yeah, she learned the joke perfectly. Again, I was looking across watching her as she delivered it. And she had the Thatcher voice down pat as well, didn't she? As you say, the lowering of the voice and the very, very severe stare that she did at the end there as well. It was a very impressive first performance.
Liz, that's sort of two Thatcher impressions we've had from the boys.
You're definitely not getting one from me. I think the very interesting thing about what Theresa May has said so far, not done but said, is this, you know, explicit pitch at the centre ground. Absolutely. Her cabinet, I think, is very much to the right, but her language about an economy that works for everyone, straight out of our last manifesto and speeches given by Ed Miliband. And the question is, in a post-Brexit Britain, with all the challenges that we have, are the Tories going to go down a low-tax, deregulated, small-state vision of Britain in order to succeed now we're no longer in Europe, in which case that won't deliver for ordinary people? Or is she going to be able to put those words into practice? I don't believe she'll be able to do that, but I thought it was very interesting. That's where she's pitched her stall.
John, finally, were you impressed? I know you disagree with her policy on Trident, but were you impressed that at least she backed it up by saying that she would press the button?
I find it chilling that she said she would press the button. I think I'm right in saying it's unprecedented for a Prime Minister in the Commons to give that direct answer.
Well,
because
wasn't it honest?
Well, as you know, they're always ambiguous about this and leave a bit of wiggle room. The debate in Trident was very poor. I sat there for 7 hours, and basically 5 arguments were used on each side, backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. No one changed their mind in the course of the whole debate. The House of Commons is enormously self-congratulatory. You know, quite often you'll get to the end of the day and it'll be an amazingly boring debate, and a succession of MPs will stand up and say, well, I think we've had a simply splendid debate today. And you think, were you in the same room as I was in? That was beyond dull. It wasn't a good debate. It was entirely predictable. But I have to pay credit to one single Tory MP, the chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, Crispin Blunt, who was the solitary Tory in the lobby against Trident.
All right. Thank you. And by the way, you were terrific. Just terrific.
You're very
Just
kind.
terrific. Marvellous. And I don't mean that in the House of Commons way.